Here we are, chapter 38. The announcement was made prior to the game concerning the Yankee players who were going to be cut. As each of the cut players came into the clubhouse, they were called into the manager's office. They were told by the Yankee general manager, Michael Jean, the only player who took it badly was first baseman Biff Johnson. "Who does the boss think he is?" shouted Biff at the GM. "This is my career, my life. He can't do this. I'm going to the Players Union and file a grievance." "On what grounds?" snapped Gene. "You're batting .220 with only 7 homers and only 33 RBIs. You have left over 35 runners in scoring position this month alone. You should have been benched over a month ago. It was a boss who wanted you left in the lineup, not Dent. And look how he got repaid. He's back in Double-A. Maybe you should be the one to thank him for a wonderful career move. Stop your whining and get out. You earn very little of the millions we're paying you. Don't make a scene out there and force me to call security." Biff stood there for a moment and then stormed out of the office. He did leave quietly in the locker room. He wasn't going to file any grievance. His only hope was to try that he might get picked up by some pennant contender who might need an occasional designated hitter or a part-time first baseman. Biff could still play defense. The Monarch players, we were escorted over to our apartments and allowed an hour to settle in the best we could. Our cars would be waiting for us in the parking garage below after the game. We got back to the stadium a little after noon. The clubhouse manager showed us to our new lockers and gave us our uniforms. I didn't know how they did it, but the uniform fit like a glove. Jack, John, and we dressed and were somewhat in awe of where we were 24 hours ago and where we are now. "Hey, Bill," said John from across the room. "Have you pinched yourself yet to see if this is for real?" "Oh, it's real, all right, John," I answer. "It might be nice to stay here for a while. I hear it's hard to go back down." "That would be nice," chimed in Jack. "Wouldn't it be something if we had something to do with the Yankees winning the AL East? That would be a trip, wouldn't it? I do wish that we had some other people with us, like Reggie." "Well, it might be something if you didn't trip over your shoelaces today," laughed Javi. I laughed too. We all had too much nervous energy to get rid of, especially me, knowing I was going to be pitching today. "That would be bad, wouldn't it, to walk out to the mound this afternoon and trip and fall flat on my face? That would be a great way to make my major league start." "Don't worry, Bill," said Tabby. "We have every confidence you'll at least make it to the mound in one piece. Just don't let them light you up in the first inning." "Well, I'll do my best not to do that, even if I have to walk everybody in the park, including the ball girl." "Very funny," said Jack. "I hope you last longer than that, since I'm supposed to relieve you in the 6th or 7th inning. Don't make me come in and pitch in the 1st or 2nd inning today. They want at least 100 pitches from you and about 20 from me. And it would be about the same 20 pitches I would do from the side anyway. I'd rather get baptized tonight with you. They would like for their closer, Hugh Jackson, to finish the game in the 9th. "Well, now that we know the plan, I guess we know what we have to do," said Bill. I immediately ran down the hall and into the toilet area. John and Jack ran down the hall and saw 2 legs with cleats attached from underneath the stall. The sounds coming out were not good. "Bill, are you okay?" shouted Jack. "Yeah, I'll be all right in a minute," I groaned. "Here, we thought you were a man of nerves of steel," said John. "It's not my nerves I'm losing," I groaned again. "I'll be out in a minute." I left the bathroom area not realizing how nervous I had been. I regained my composure and make my way out to the Yankee bullpen in center field. The game started at 2:10 p.m. It was about 1:20 p.m., time for me to start getting loose. I took off my Yankee windbreaker and threw it on the bench on the side. The bullpen catcher, Rick Rodriguez, flipped me a new ball he had been rubbing up. I stepped about 15 feet in front of the mound and just began soft tossing with Rick. After about 20 throws, I went to the top of the mound and towed the pitching rubber. I looked in and sent about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball toward Rick. "Good stuff, Billy," said Rick as he fired the ball back. "Keep it coming, baby." Now it was about 1:40 p.m. I was warm by about 1:50 p.m. and feeling no ill effects of my previous bathroom experience. I grabbed my jacket, which I put over my right arm, and be walking through the outfield toward the Yankee dugout. "Good luck," said Rick, "and keep it down and you'll be okay. You had great stuff out here in the pen." I made my way to the dugout. The crowd behind the dugout began chanting, "Billy, Billy." The players began patting me on the back, wishing me well. Mike Stanley, the catcher, motioned me to come over, and he took out a spiral notebook and told me to have a seat. "Don't worry about what to throw today," said Mike. "Just worry about location. Just watch where I set up and work into that zone. Just stay out of the middle of the plate and you'll be okay," Mike added. "How do you feel? Did you get loose?" "Yes, I did," I said. "Well, you should," said Mike. "Rick called. They clocked some of your pitches at 94, 95, and a couple at 98. If you stay there and pitch to spots, we'll be just fine." Mike tapped me on the knee and walked down to the end of the bench and got a drink of Gatorade. He came back with a small glass for me as well. Red joined me on the bench. "You feel all right, Billy?" asked Red. "No problem, Skip," I replied. "I'm ready to go." "Well then, let's go," said Red stated. "It's showtime." The rest of the Yankees burst onto the field. I took my jacket and laid it down, and I didn't even notice the bat boy was waiting to take it from me and hang it up. "Thanks," I said. "No problem," said the kid. I climbed up the steps and felt the soft grass hit the bottom of my cleats. The crowd rose to their feet and began chanting again, "Billy, Billy." I picked up the ball laying on the first base side of the mound and placed it firmly inside my A2000 gloves pocket. I reached down and grabbed the rosin bag, squeezed it a couple of times, flipping it so it landed on the back of my right wrist, killed a slight amount of perspiration there. I dropped it to the ground, looked out around the outfield at the white facade. Man, this was too much. What a beautiful place. Robert Merrill sang the national anthem as always, and the announcer shouted, "Play ball." "Let's do it, kid," said Stanley from Belay. "You and me." I towed the rubber and I sent my first big league warm-up pitch toward the plate, right down the middle. Stanley shook his head in agreement and fired the ball back. I then walked back to the top of the mound and looked around the field as the players were taking grounders from Tavy at first. This was it, I thought. I had finally made my dream come true. I thought, if my parents and grandparents and my sister, Gus, Mary, and Gloria, how I wish they could have been here to see it. Maybe my parents were, I thought, in heaven. Maybe they're looking down. Mike walked out in front of home plate and shouted, "Bill, you okay?" I turned and smiled the biggest smile of my life. "Yes, I'm okay," I said. "Let's play some ball."